Happy Friday, Denver, and thanks again for joining us here on the Mile High Life Network for the final time. That's right, guys. We're going to close this chapter on Happy Friday Denver podcast. What an incredible ride it has been. We love the Mile High Life Network and all the great podcasts that they have to support this amazing city. We, of course, have a show to do one last time, so let's get right to it, boys. Of course, we have the Fricashinas that play us in and play us out every single week. We love this band. Definitely go subscribe to their music, download their stuff, support them, go out and see them live. We love the Fricashinas. My name is Kevin Batstone. I will be emceeing this episode. And joining me, of course, as always, is Mr. Arthur Raw.
Mr. Raw, rockin' and rollin' Raw, baby. Let's go.
And, of course, join me one last time, running those ones and twos, his favorite seat, John Ekstrom.
I'm a modern anarchist, a punk rock existentialist who wants to make the whole world coexist.
Oh, that's good. That flowed real nice. That flowed real nice off the tongue.
That's bad cop right there for you. Those are lyrics, baby. I didn't make that up. Are you shitting me?
Ooh,
that's poetry.
That's good stuff, John. I like it. I'll tell you this, man. Cocaine Sharks.
Cocaine Sharks.
We talked about Cocaine Bear earlier this year, which was an incredible movie. I finally got to see it on Peacock. What a crazy movie that was.
Should have seen it in theaters, man.
I know. I missed out on the experience because it was so in your face, just grotesque.
You got to get ripped and go see it in theaters with some friends. Fuck yeah.
Good stuff. But I found this article, and they did a program last week about these cocaine sharks off the Florida Keys. And, evidently there has been some rumblings that, with a lot of the drug smuggling that goes on, cocaine coming in, that some of it gets thrown overboard. These guys are getting busted. And these sharks, guys, could be ingesting cocaine and getting just a little wild under the ocean.
So, I wonder how long does it last in a shark system compared to a human system? And depending how much
you don't know shark metabolism? Why not?
Is it faster than humans?
I have no idea, dude. I'm fucking with you.
I feel like a shark beat, if it's smaller or equal to our size, is going to have a slower heart rate.
Sure. Why not?
I'm still trying to figure out, though, sure, it's in the water. Are they eating, the blocks of it? Are they just, ingesting the powder through the water? Are they breathing it in? How are these sharks getting the cocaine?
Well, I don't know. The cocaine bear snorted it off that guy's, dismembered leg.
That's true.
At one point and then walked off screen, which was one of the most badass scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
That was.
So I don't care how they're getting it. If a shark is on cocaine, holy fuck. Jaws made people not go in the water. Cocaine... fucked up sharks, I'm not going to
When it was hammerheads out of place too, right? They weren't
in
their
circling.
normal spot. And how do they determine? Did they kill one of these sharks and test its blood? How do they find They
said it was due to the shark's behavior. Sharks are already pretty aggressive to begin with, right? Generally speaking, but the way that it was swimming and some of the things that they were analyzing, this shark's acting different.
And they found some packages nearby. I think the shark probably ate the it was a group of sharks, and if they threw it over the boat, the cocaine's floating around. And then the sharks go and eat it, and they all started eating it together.
Kev, I actually know the answer to this. I think actually what happened was the sharks started DJing dubstep music, and so all of a sudden the sharks wait till this fucking beat drop.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, no, that's clearly.
There's no other explanation.
That's just science.
There's no other explanation for it.
Clearly. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Here.
Okay.
Cocaine bear versus cocaine shark. Who wins?
That's a good one because there's a lot of variables that play into this. Is the bear in the water? Is the shark coming up on the shore? The bear would have to be in the water to make this a realistic fight.
Well, yeah, I was saying the venue here is everything.
I'm going shark. I think the shark gets the bite on the bear. I think he's a little quicker.
Huh. Well, if it's just one shark, I don't know. I'm going to put my money on the bear.
I don't know. It depends on how deep the water is because you can't have this on land. The bear wins it in a walk.
Yeah. Oh, hands down.
But if you're having it in the water, how deep is the water and how mobile is the bear? And by the way, how much cocaine has each had?
These are all contributing factors.
Yeah. So it's kind of a tale of the tape here.
A tremendous amount of cocaine, deep enough for the water, and epic battle. I like it.
Yeah.
So who you got? So you're taking the bear?
Yeah, I'm taking the bear.
Still in the water.
If it's 1v1, okay, but if there's a grouping of sharks, obviously I'm going with the sharks.
What if it's a grouping of bears versus a grouping of sharks?
The bears. I'm going with the bears.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm taking push here. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just too many factors. I'm going to take the shark just because why not? I think because I gotta disagree with Art, but that's some punk rock shit right there.
Brand.
Yeah, that's very on brand for sure. John, you went to the Punk Rock Save Lives Festival last weekend and you said it was badass.
Holy fucking shit, dude. So this bad cop shirt, they absolutely melted everyone's face despite having some technical issues. The sound wasn't dialed in. Their lyrics were cutting out. But the thing I want to highlight here, first of all, the bands were incredible. So you had the Nuns of Brixton, guys in nun habits, wearing singing Clash cover songs. You had Plasma Canvas, which there's a great photo of me on Instagram singing along with the lead singer.
Awesome
yeah,
photo.
Fucking
that's
phenomenal.
rock and roll.
And then local bands like Dryer Fire and All Waffle Trick. It was really fun. But there was a pit the whole time, and there were these little girls there, like about my girl's age, who wanted to dance and like, look at these guys just marching around in a circle. It was like we were in fucking kindergarten. We're like marching in a circle and like, you know, like, and guys with huge mohawks and a guy in a fucking banana costume. A little kid sees that and they go, I got to go be a part of that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The pit adjusted from being aggressive to going around these girls. It was like an island where they could just dance and have fun and like be a part of it, but not get hurt.
That's awesome.
It was the scene policing itself and taking care of itself. And I'm going to go on record here right now and just say this is the best the Denver scene has ever been.
Oh, that's awesome.
The best the Denver punk scene has ever been. I fucking love it. I cannot wait to get out to another show. It was amazing.
That sounds like a lot of fun, man. I mean, we've talked about how much we love live venues, live events, live music. It's great. And I always like to see, you know, when there is like moshing and aggressive kind of dancing happening, that everyone's being courteous to each other, helping each other up. Obviously, if there's small children around, let's be courteous to them.
Yeah, I feel like that's a misconception that I also once held, and that was the fact that I thought people in the pit were like trying to hurt each other and then like in this all this other stuff. But then as I've observed, as I've been to more shows, like these people are just having fun, letting a little bit out, and if they knock you down on accident, they'll help get you up. And
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. It wasn't always that way, though.
It wasn't.
It wasn't because back when I was in high school, like the sound was very aggressive, so you attracted a lot of people who were there for the wrong reasons. And it's like, oh, this music's loud and really aggressive. I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna fucking fight people.
Yep.
And so you'd find a lot of like really, really mean-spirited people who wanted to just fuck people up.
Oh, geez.
And that was no good. The scene's different now because you've weeded all those people out. They've moved on to whatever it is they've moved on to.
That's good.
Right.
No, that's good because I remember the heavy metal scene when I first came to Denver, like 07, 08, going to some of these heavy metal shows. I'm talking
like
screamo
Wall
metal.
of Death type.
Yeah, like you know your Black Label societies, like the heavy metal,
like
and
Slipknot, all that shit.
Slipknot,
Yeah.
Mudvayne. Those guys. I remember seeing people leaving like bloody, shoes knocked off. Like it's too much. Like we're here to have fun, and everyone should leave the way you came.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think I've ever went into a pit. If I'm being really honest,
You didn't get in the pit for a little bit.
I don't think I've
You didn't
ever
put
gotten
the
in the
fork on
pit for a
fork?
bit. I've like been on the orbit of it a couple times. I'm like, nah. I like turn around. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
So for Bad Cop, I was what my friend Jason referred to as pit security.
Okay.
So you're that first row around the pit where the people behind you are like, I don't want to be in the pit, and you've got it, and so you kind of push people back in.
Oh, okay.
And the rule is if someone crashes into you, you can return force.
Yeah.
But you're not there to like fuck someone up who's coming by you.
Yeah.
And so there's like pit etiquette that at this point is largely just sort of intuitive and unspoken for me. But like I think everyone else gets it too. The vibe is just outrageous.
That's awesome.
Pit
So
etiquette.
good.
Yeah, there has to be for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's good. I'm glad to hear that the scene looks good, John. You're out there more than I am seeing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Just a bit.
We love local bands. We love what's going on. You know, our good friend Sarah Christine had an unfortunate event happen to her. She just had a story about it on Fox 31
Yeah,
a
crazy.
couple nights ago. Art, you got more?
Yeah, crazy. Sarah Christine, we've known her over a year, coming up on 2 years probably, easy.
Yeah.
And a great person, a beautiful human being, wonderful soul. And what was happening is she was just going to go do some practice. They're showing up to the garage where they always practice in. The guy's house, he was inside. They unpacked the equipment, left it next to the garage door. They had to go get the garage door open. It took 5 minutes. And when they came back, like 12 grand worth of equipment was MIA within like 5 minutes. And
amazing.
Yeah, it is expensive. So that's really unfortunate. She does have a GoFundMe. We left the link. That's all in there and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. Support Sarah Christine. But who does something like that, man? Like you're just sitting there waiting for somebody to, or you see this opportunity and like what kind of karma you got?
What kind of
back?
low-life fuck are you? To
Yeah.
like you see these people unloading this equipment into a garage. Like I mean, they're clearly doing it for, if I had to guess, to feed an addiction. Which I hope they
they're
get help,
kleptos,
right?
yeah.
Like
Or something like that.
Like you see some valuable shit, you're gonna go
yeah.
steal it, so that you can then turn that around and feed whatever it is that's bothering you. That sucks. That's tragic.
It is.
Like because you're hurting these people who like haven't done anything wrong, and who are just like local people trying to make fucking art. And that sucks, man. Like my heart goes out to her. I hate that.
Yeah, I feel bad. I mean, I played in a band for a long time. I know how much money and time goes into the equipment that you have, and the hoof and gear and all that stuff. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work that goes into being a local musician, and to have it just yoinked away from you while you're getting ready to practice is absolutely terrible. And there's a lot of second spin shops like Music Go Round, a lot of these places where I'm sure if you start looking to see some of the inventory that's coming in, I guarantee you it's going to be some of hers.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Go into the show notes. You'll see the GoFundMe there. Kick in a few bucks if you can, because like people creating local music. Clearly, we just did a whole segment about this. This is 2 in a row. We support local art and do what you can.
Yeah. And we love Sarah Christine. We love you, girl. You know, we had to bring this up and help support you. Keep it up. Keep the dream alive.
Absolutely. She's got a good head on her shoulder. She's going to be just fine. But let's shift gears here a little bit and talk some sports. We're at the 40th anniversary of the Pine Tar game.
This is one of my favorite fucking goofy things that's ever existed. 40 years ago, George Brett, so I was 2 years old. I don't remember this as it happened, but I have seen this more times than I can count. George Brett and the Kansas City Royals are playing the New York Yankees. It's 2 out in the top of the 9th. They're down by 2. George Brett hits a home run off Goose Gossage. By the way, they're both Hall of Famers at this point. He hits a home run, but the Yankees challenge, and they go, he used too much pine tar on the bat. There's a rule about that.
18 inches.
Yeah. And so they measure it, they call him out, and George Brett comes charging out of the fucking dugout. He is so mad. Have you've seen the clip?
It was pretty funny.
He is just red hot.
Fired
just
up.
So mad. And at that point, when I saw this clip, I go, this is going to be one of my favorite players. Because clearly, like, I'm very, like, high-strung as it is. The Royals appealed this. And so the Royals, like, they go, no, this is bullshit. The league office agreed with them. That means they had to play the rest of the top of the 9th and then the bottom of the 9th. They played it in front of 1,200 fans like a week and a half later. And the Royals won. And so George Brett, in this article, it's an ESPN article, relived some of this, got a bunch of questions, and he's like, you know what? If I'm remembered for being intense and fighting hard for my team, that's okay with me. And me and Goose Gossage, we laugh about it to this day.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Definitely an epic moment in baseball history. You know, when you look back at some crazy stuff, this one definitely stands out. And the fact that they had there was 34,000 people at that game, and then 1,200 when it was played again. And when they were contesting it, it took a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like in the 9th inning, they're like, well, what are we going to do here? You know, we're reviewing it. What's going on? He had 17 inches on the bat. It's got to be under 18. There was just so much like hoopla going on.
Yeah, it was wacky.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty epic, man, and it is fun, those kind of moments where people are completely filled with passion, and you can feel that, and it's enough to move a whole crowd, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's what's important about, like, you know, the authenticity behind all the little things you do, because it will make an impact. And just him being like no way, that's bullshit, and like running out here. I mean, you're talking about it 40 years later.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So they asked him, do you have any regrets? He goes, I kind of wish I didn't swing my arms as much, because he comes out of the dugout. He's like,
okay.
Looking like the Bushwhackers?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And he's like, they had a bobblehead night one time in Kansas City, and it, like, the head didn't move, but the arms did.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, that's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
That's great. That's great. What a great way to commemorate that event. All right, guys, so check this out. So we're going to have some things changing if you're a renter here in August. There was some legislation that went through earlier this year that's going to take effect here starting August 7th. There's some good things in here, I think. You know, I kind of picked through, and, you know, basically the big takeaways that I saw here is, you know, landlords basically are now going to require twice the income rather than 3 times in order to consider you, you know, an eligible renter. And the other big thing I took away from this was credit checks are no longer going to be required unless it's on a federal level, government-assisted housing, things of that nature.
Okay.
So they're not going to do hard credit checks. You just need to provide 2x of what the rent is going to be. And I think that's good in some instances. Of course, it doesn't really change rent control and the prices of rent, but I do think this is going to help some folks get into some housing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a homeowner now since 2009, so I've been out of the renting game, but Denver has one of the most expensive rental, like, economies that's in the entire country. So my hope is, this eases some of that. I'll be interested to see what the unintended consequences are, because every time there's legislation, there's always unintended consequences.
Well, I'm extremely familiar with renting units out, because that's been a family business in my family. And
A family business in your family?
a family business within my kin. And so my pops, like, I could already see some of his counter arguments to why some of this stuff might hurt. So yeah, it is interesting to think about. I do hope it helps people, and I hope landlords don't get screwed over in the mean run either.
Well, and there's always going to be that gray area too. There is certain things this doesn't apply to, like mobile homes and things of that nature, and there's going to be certain areas, probably some private housing or whatever, that don't necessarily need to abide by this. But this I more picture like apartment living, you know, duplexes, probably a lot like what your dad does. A lot of that's probably going to be in there. So I'd be curious to see what he has to say about that.
I think about the old Mitch Hedberg joke. He's like, I don't have to go to the Home Depot. I get to go to the apartment depot. That's a bunch of people standing around going, I don't have to fix shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one nice thing about renting. I will tell you that. Living in an apartment, I'm just like, oh, my garbage disposal broke. My dishwasher's fucked.
Yeah.
Let me just call them up.
Oh, dude. Homeowner? Parade of horrors every day. It's nothing but joy.
You better have, like, that insurance and money in the bank for when the hot water heater goes out or something like that. It's expensive.
It's very expensive, definitely being a homeowner. And if you're a car owner too, right?
And
So
like taxes, like they'd be like trying to make the taxes more expensive and all. We don't need to get too far into all that.
Yeah,
we can.
It's expensive. That's
yeah,
the bottom
we
line.
Easily.
It's expensive to live. It's expensive to rent, buy. It doesn't matter. Everyone's dealing with something that's going to be, a little bit challenging on the financial end. So I'll be curious to see how this pans out. I like it. I think it's good that Denver's looking at kind of restructuring the renting market a little bit. We'll see what happens. So, like John, you said, there is going to be some ramifications from it. No question about it. So, when you're cruising around Denver and you don't want to drive, Art, you got some e-bikes.
That's right. And within 3 minutes, all the vouchers were completely gone. And what the vouchers were was $300 to $500 on your privately purchased e-bike. And basically the limit was $1,200 to $1,400.
That's like if you qualify for income assistance, you get the bigger rebate. And e-bikes are what, like $1,000 to $2,000?
Yeah. No, they can be pretty pricey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I can understand why that went out really quick. I've never ridden an e-bike. I have hopped on those like the electronic scooters, and those things do haul ass. But I just really hope, and a quick, to all the listeners, all the viewers out there, let's wear some safety gear. Let's wear some helmets. Let's make sure we take care of ourselves, because the last thing you want to do is be cruising 20, 25 miles per hour on this e-bike hauling ass, and then flying off that thing, and now you got brain injury for the rest of your life. Now
safety
what?
is punk rock.
Yeah.
You always got to be safe. Sometimes you got to wear a condom or, put a helmet on, however you want to word it. And everyone has different
condom.
Yes.
Condom. Thank you.
I had to get it in one more time, John.
Helmet.
Your helmet.
Wear your helmet.
While you're on your e-bike.
Yeah.
Your e-bicycle.
So have you guys ever rode an e-bike or an electronic scooter?
Yes.
Both?
Yes.
Okay.
I have ridden the electronic scooter, not the bike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, some of them, depending on which one you get, some of them you barely have to do shit. Right? It's almost like being on a motorcycle.
Yep.
Some of them just have like a pedal assist, and you go, I could bike this shit all day.
Uh-huh.
It's lovely. I mean,
Interesting.
e-bikes are cool as hell.
Do you have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't even own a bike.
Okay.
But I will say, for anyone who didn't get that, I guess take the bus, losers, until the next round of eBay rebates come back. So.
I mean, it's crazy that they went that quick. I mean, it just goes to show how many folks are trying to jump on board with electric everything, really.
Yeah. Look how concert tickets go. Like everything ever since 2020 has been like, it just disappears for some reason. Once that happened, I don't know why. Everything changed. Like, do you guys notice that too? Like beforehand, you used to be able to buy tickets.
I don't know, man. Because
or was it always like that?
I have to sign up my kids for daycare, and you got to be on your shit to make that happen too.
Okay.
Otherwise,
was
you
it
and your
always
kids,
like that?
I don't know. Probably not. But you don't get your kids signed up for camp. Take the bus, losers.
Yeah, you got to be on it for sure. Well, and I think the other thing too is just how massive Denver's gotten over the past few years. We talked about the population increase. That has a lot to do with ticket sales and people wanting to get out and do things. I don't know. I mean, people are on it. And
could be pandemic, dude, because like everyone wants to get out now.
That's true.
And so like, are we going to a show or what? Like we better get on tickets, and so everyone fucking rushes. And it could be bots. It could be fucking scalpers. Who knows?
All of the above.
Well, and then you just have the influx of social media and everything coming at you constantly. Like, here, buy your tickets, buy your vouchers. You have this amount of time. We have more opportunities. We have it coming at us quicker now.
Well, and if you can't jump on there, get it done at times, then what do they got to do, John?
Take the bus.
Take the bus, losers.
Oh man, that's speaking of losers. We have Twitter becoming X.
Oh God. Okay. So as your resident person who's named X. My last name starts with X.
X going to give it to you on this one.
Fuck. Elon Musk is going to make this uncool, too. So, okay, Twitter undertook one of the weirder and more abrupt rebrands in history. Got rid of the bird logo, just called it X. He's been trying to do this for 4 fucking things. He's tried to do it with PayPal.
Yeah.
Yep.
He tried to name his child that. He tried to do it with Tesla. And now he's finally succeeded with Twitter. According to their CEO, who, by the way, can you imagine becoming CEO and then trying to translate your boss's dumbass 3 a.m. bullshit into corporate language? No. That sounds like fresh hell to me. But X is the future of unlimited interactivity, centered in audio, video, messaging, payment/baking. Hold on to that one for me. Creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities. Powered by AI. Oh, boy. X will connect us in all the ways we're just beginning to imagine. Okay, first of all, go fist yourself with that entire sentence. That's a bunch of meaningless, terrible
Can I have
word salad.
all of your information, please?
Yeah.
And not even have a human interact with it.
Yeah, so powered by AI, give us all your banking info and give us like your audio, your video. Here, tag all these for me. By the way, this already exists. It's called Facebook. So like you're trying to invent Facebook when it already exists. But let me just quote local comedian Andrew Orvidal, who we're going to plug in the shit to do this weekend too. he said, he tweeted, or Zeeted, or whatever we're calling it now.
Like, X'd it.
He said, I will gladly live in the woods and use river stones and animal bones for currency before I do 1 cent of banking on this site. I could not possibly agree more.
I agree 100%. I don't really understand the need to do this when the platform already was what it was, right? But Elon, of course, when he took over Twitter, what was it, late last fall, once he, kind of got into the game of this thing, he's like, immediately we're going to change things, we're going to restructure, and that's fine, switch it up, whatever. The rebrand, the logo going from the bird to just this now aggressive X, he posted on his Twitter like what it's going to look like, because if you click the app right now,
it's a $30 font, bro.
Yeah,
literally it's a $30 font. That's it.
$30 font. It's not that impressive. I don't know. I don't like it.
Here's the thing. Look, even if it does stick, he's going to be shaking his head all the time and rolling his eyes because everyone's still going to be calling it Twitter.
He's going to find out in a hurry how annoying it is to be dead named.
Well, it's just like we were talking about, with Meta, right? No one's referring to it as Meta. We still call it Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
I think it's always going to be Twitter, to your point.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's been branded as.
So my wife has it's sort of a theory that I like that is kind of tinfoil hat-ish to me.
Okay.
Because it wasn't actually Elon's money that bought Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He got a huge investment from the Saudis, and she thinks, or she asserted to me, that he is torpedoing this, or the Saudis used him as a useful idiot to torpedo this American communications infrastructure. And I thought, is he smart enough to know that he's doing that or that he's being used? And she goes, no. So it's a little tinfoil hatty.
I can kind of agree. I can get behind that maybe.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
We will see. I mean, it hasn't even been a year that he's been in this position, and we've already seen massive changes. So, I don't know. It didn't surprise me by any stretch of imagination, but I don't really like it. It's never been my favorite social media platform anyway.
No. Speculation is a fun pond to swim in, but I prefer the ocean.
All right. And on that beautiful bombshell, let's talk about some landmarks that are coming our way here in Denver, Art.
Oh, so we're looking to make a new historic landmark. Hopefully this gets passed. Amazing civil rights lawyer that was born in Denver in 1925. His name was Irving P Andrews, and his daughter is actually the one that submitted all this. He wasn't allowed to have an office downtown, right? So obviously civil rights has come a really long way, and I still believe that fight is true and we can still make progress. But it's really great to see how far we've come, and I think that his house should definitely be a landmark. He did a lot of great things for people struggling back then, and even his own past and history was really tough. Obviously, being born African American during that time and the atmosphere that he was born into.
Well, dude, he was part of the team that worked on Brown versus Board of Education, which was the court case that ruled that racial segregation in schools was unconstitutional. For that alone, that man's a fucking hero. And so, to your point, I read this article. This was such a great find, Art. I loved this article so much. This place is right by the zoo in City Park. At the time, African Americans who lived there called it Struggle Hill because it was a struggle for them even to live there at the time. They couldn't be downtown. So, yeah, make his house a landmark. Let's all use it to learn from the sins of the past and from the triumphs of the past. The fact that he was part of the group that brought Brown versus Board of Education. Fuck, man. Celebrate this man.
Yes. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's pretty powerful stuff, and it's good to commemorate and to, make this a landmark. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be. It gives folks an opportunity, kids in school, whatever, passing by. It's a piece of history. It's a piece of history. You go, look, this is what happened, throughout the years. We're commemorating it. Denver's really good at it. It's a very innovative city. Definitely focus a lot on history. I think it needs to happen. I'm behind it.
Well, and so much of our history is white too.
Right.
And so the more that we can get multicultural history imbued into Denver and have people understand that there's more than white people who did great things in this city, I think that's a huge, huge deal.
Yeah, and that's a good point, John. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm behind it 100%. I hope to see it happen.
Yeah, and good job to his daughter who's out there working, pushing to get this stuff done and making sure that it's celebrated and recognized. So
yeah, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It takes a team to do it, pushing on it, bringing awareness to it. Because honestly, I didn't know this history story.
I didn't know
I didn't know anything about it until Art put it in there. So good find, Art, for sure. That's a great article.
So I mean, that's one of the good things about the platforms we have. You can elevate. You can either pass the mic to people and you guys do that all the time on DCPC. I do that on my own show, John of All Trades. But, like, we can do that here. It's like, look, we're 3 fucking white dudes here, right? So, like, what can we do to use our platform and our privilege to elevate the voices of those who don't necessarily have the platforms that we do? So I think that's great.
Great point, John. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Ending on, kind of a sadder note, we lost another, music icon this week, Sinead O'Connor, of course, a Irish woman who's wrote some incredible songs and has been performing for a long time. I saw a post that kind of upset me a little bit. It was like, the only song that was good Prince wrote. And it's like,
oh, that's such bullshit, dude. Like, fuck that. No way.
I was like, come on, man. That's not.
That's you not knowing her work.
Exactly.
Like,
100%. So I read that.
On
I'm
the
like,
poster,
just
dude.
distasteful for sure. Fantastic performer for sure. Died too young, 56. Outlived one of her kids.
Super young.
Definitely made a huge impact on music.
Dude, but like, here's the thing about Sinead O'Connor. Maybe you only know her for that "Nothing Compares to You" song and video, because the video is just, it's hard on her face, like right here. But you remember it. Like, that's more than you can say about almost anyone else. That's an iconic image. Who has that? To argue with this fake internet motherfucker who I've never met.
He probably takes the bus.
Yeah, take the bus, loser. But like, you remember it, right? That's more than you can say about almost anyone else in the history of culture. That's fucking iconic. So she deserves to be celebrated. I have my own Sinead O'Connor story. Art, you looked like you wanted to say something.
I mean, like, I always just love celebrating people. Obviously, I am not good at pop culture. I do recognize some of these songs, but it's always so interesting to me because I think about mortality and things of this nature. And, we all have our time, right? And I kind of feel like a broken record whenever this comes up, but I feel like it's always an important reminder, too. Time is temporary. And so what we do with it actually really does matter, especially, when we're knocking on the pearly gates or whatever it may be, we're getting pulled downstairs. Like, you don't know. And so you just got to do your best. I'm really happy that she's going to be celebrated. She'll be remembered by the world for the great work. And like, we can only all hope to do something on the same accord that helps us feel fulfilled.
Dude, Art, to your point, any one of us could step out today and go get hit by a fucking bus. Okay, like literally, none of us know when our number is up. I don't know if she knew. Like, I didn't read if she was battling an illness or what. But one thing I will say, her bravery in like 1992 of tearing up that picture of the Pope to protest sexual abuse of minors by the Catholic Church, that made her a fucking pariah. But she stood up for what she believed was right, and then it came to light that, man, she was fucking right about all that. And the fact that she was ostracized and criticized for that. Man, like, she's a fucking hero for it.
No, I agree. And I think that, unfortunately, sometimes it takes, folks to die off to really learn what their story was and what their impact that they had. There's definitely going to be some stories and documentaries, I think, that come out of this for folks that maybe don't know what her story looked like. That's going to shed some light on something.
So I got a personal Sinead O'Connor story. First time I saw Dropkick Murphys. They're getting ready to come out on stage. I mean, Dropkick Murphys. You're a New England guy.
That's my band.
And so they're getting themselves pumped up. They're backstage, and the song that's playing is "The Foggy Dew" by Sinead O'Connor. And if you haven't listened to "The Foggy Dew," that song is fucking phenomenal. Download that one. "The Foggy Dew," official recommendation by John X. Not X, not any other X. John X. Download "The Foggy Dew" by Sinead O'Connor. You will get yourself pumped up. Literally, it's a badass song.
Absolutely. I'm going to listen to that on my ride home tonight.
Hell yeah.
Get pumped.
Booyah.
Get pumped.
I want to listen to it, too.
Yeah. No, we'll listen to it when we're done here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Good music, for sure. We're heading into the weekend. We got some fun things coming up this weekend. John, what you got?
Okay, so I'll be there tomorrow night at the world-famous Bug Theater, seeing the Grolics. That's Adam Caton Holland, Andrew Orvidal, and Ben Roy, 3 of the funniest comedians we have in Denver. Headlining is Bobcat Goldthwait, believe it or not. That is Saturday at 8 p.m. I'll be there. Come say hi if you see me there.
Absolutely. Looks like we got the Underground Music Showcase also this weekend in Denver. All this, of course, will be in the show notes down below.
That's right.
Buffalo Bill Days in Golden. Yeehaw.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Put on the boots. Let's wear some blue shirts. Didn't he wear a blue shirt? Or was he wearing like a
blue shirt?
Wait, no, I'm thinking about somebody else. I'm thinking about somebody else. It's Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan wore a red shirt.
Yeah, a red
flannel.
flannel.
No, he had Babe the Blue Ox is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, with the blue ox.
Yeah.
Paul Bunyan. I want to see a Paul Bunyan.
Well, you got to go to Brainerd, Minnesota, dude. That's Minnesota, bro.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's different mythology.
Sorry, Denver.
It happens to the best of us. We got some comedy happening this Saturday, John. Who's here?
Yeah. Oh, Brian Posehn, one of my favorite comedians. Brian Posehn, hilarious, one of the comedians of comedy. He was on that with Patton Oswalt, Zach Galifianakis, and Maria Bamford. Phenomenal talent. I love Brian Posehn.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I love a good comedy show. There's some good comics coming, over the next couple of months. But, we have a full list that is in the show notes, denver.org/events. You can get involved with whatever's going on around the city that interests you. I mean, they break it down and make it so simple. They got arts, they got entertainment, they got food, they got everything. It's a really
badass.
Really cool list.
Like the layout is terrific. It's laid out by like museum exhibitions, like film, concerts, food stuff. It's terrific.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And man, we're going to close this one out a little bit differently. This is the end of Happy Friday, Denver.
It is the end. This is John's last show. I am moving on down the road. These guys are going to take this in a direction that I think you're going to be really excited about, but it's time for me to do some other things. This has been a great ride. I adore our time together. Thank you guys for doing this show with me, for taking this leap, and I'm thrilled with what we've brought.
Oh, it's been so much fun. Such a fun journey. We were even just reminiscing a little bit before you arrived and like laughing at some of the funny moments and like silly things that had come up in the past. And like it has
that bird hit.
Yeah, it has been so much fun. It has been so much fun.
Dude, that was the first episode. I know.
That was.
With the NyQuil chicken? Holy shit.
Yeah. It's been a hell of a journey. And, I just want to thank you, John, for working beside us through all this. It hasn't been easy at times. It's show business is there's no business like show business. And I want to personally thank Nate Lundy and everyone at Mile High Life for giving us the opportunity to do what we love and get together and create. I mean, those guys are fantastic, and I think Mile High Life is going to continue to grow. We're just going to go through a restructure, and things are changing. Everything's temporary, and we're going through some different things.
Yep. So. Art, do you have a beverage? Let's give it a cheers here.
I do.
So, gentlemen, to Happy Friday. Thank you for the journey, and to what you guys do next, you got to fill the listeners in, but first, a cheers.
Yes, and
absolutely.
Cheers to you, man, and continued success, because I don't know many people that hustle as hard as you do, man.
You know what? Back at you. Congrats on what we've accomplished, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Absolutely.
And so what's more to come is Happy Friday America. And this will be a YouTube-only show. In the very beginning, we don't know what's going to happen with it quite long-term yet, but it's still going to drop next week on the Discussion Combustion YouTube channel, Happy Friday America.
Yeah, just going to restructure a little bit. Things are going to be similar but look a little different. We're going to expand out of Denver and kind of talk about things that are going on around the country. It's a cool idea, just keeping that going, having some fun. It will be an exclusive YouTube show. We're going to kind of get away from the audio platforms a little bit and just try something different, So for the folks that are already watching, you don't have to do anything different. Just make sure you're subscribed. You'll see Happy Friday America going forward. And for the folks that have listened to us on whatever listening platform, be sure to head over to that YouTube channel and follow along, because this journey will continue. And this is the end of Happy Friday Denver, but the beginning of Happy Friday America.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go get on the bus, losers. I'll see you guys another time. It'll be somewhere down the road, but for now, I'm on the bus.
We love you, John.
We do love you, man. And everybody still continue to support John of All Trades podcast, one of Denver's finest podcasts, been around for a long time. You already know I'm still going to love and like all your shit online, dude. You're not getting me out of your life, even if I might get underneath your skin a little bit, John. You can't get rid of me now, dude.
You'll find me at JOATpod on the socials, johnofalltrades.us. Which is where John of All Trades is. And in addition to that show, there's 8 others. You'll see me around. I'm actually going on KOA next week again.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, that'll be Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 to noon, filling in for Ross Kaminsky. So shit happens, man. It's all good. I'm excited for what you guys do. Kev, close the show.
Yeah, let's shut it down, guys, of course. It's been so much fun. Happy Friday, Denver. Thanks again, Mile High Life. Rick Ashinas, let's go.